Good afternoon, everyone. So, good afternoon or good evening from wherever you are tuning in. So, my name is Angeline Constantinou. I am the founder, podcaster, and coach of Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. So, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. And you can find our new episodes, which are available at www.letsbreakthesilence.com. And please click the link in bio, and you will find me on all the streaming platforms: Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. But the reason that we're here today, is we are going to have a candid conversation with my queen, Wynicka Williams. Okay, we recently connected on social media, and she is going to be sharing her journey of how she went from victim to victor of domestic abuse and trauma. So, quick introduction. So, Wynicka, and known as Queen Williams, is a powerful woman of God. She is a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, where she currently resides with her husband and 3 children. She is a minister, international best-selling author, entrepreneur, activist, poet, and podcaster. Her mission is to empower women and lead them from a vicious lifestyle of sin and death to a victorious life. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Wynicka. Good afternoon, Queen, and how are you doing today? Happy Monday.
Wow, happy Monday. This is a motivational Monday. This is a marvelous Monday. I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am doing great. Wynicka. It's Monday, and it was quite cold this morning when I woke up. It was like 12 degrees above zero this morning.
Oh, wow.
And I was up before 5 a.m. So, yes, it's quite chilly here in the Northeast. So,
ooh, I'm not ready for that. Well, here in NOLA, we have a little cold, but it's not that cold.
It's not that cold. Well, that's good. If it's in the 40s, I consider that warm.
It's like in the 60s, so.
Oh, okay. That's I will take that. So, everyone, if you're tuning into the live broadcast right now, please hashtag live in the comments, and please let us know where you are tuning in from. We're broadcasting live on my personal Facebook page, my Let's Break the Silence private Facebook group, and my YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe to my Let's Break the Silence on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, Apple, and all the live streams, which we really appreciate. And thank you so much for all your support. So, Wynicka, I know when we connected, we had talked last week on Friday. So I know that your journey went something like this. So what happened before your journey? Because I know you had talked about this with me, privately. And so what happened in your life? Where were you in that journey? Because I know that you wrote, your life was like a dead end. So please tell the audience, what happened what happened during that time period. Because I'm sure it's very painful, and, but I would love the audience, please share with the viewers and the audience who are tuning in today, what happened during that time period.
Yes, ma'am. It's painful, but when we use our voice to speak out about it, the healing takes place. So I love speaking out about it, because the more I speak out about it, the more I get healed, and then other women, they get healed as well, so they can know they can make it out of it. But for me, my journey started very early on. So I grew up in a house where there was abuse, and my brother, would do things to me. And then when I got older, I didn't know that wasn't the way that life was supposed to be. So my stepdad was a alcoholic as well, and he would abuse me as well. So at the age of from 10 to 15, I had started, men would abuse me in the home. And that only opened up the doorway for me to feel as though, hey, if they're doing it at home, then this is the way that it's supposed to be in relationships. So at the age of 15, I actually encountered a man. And at this time, I did not know that he was a man. This man was 38 years old, and he sexually assaulted me. Right after that, I had another incident where a man sexually assaulted me, and I became pregnant from that incident. And then the cycle just started with all of these men abusing me. I felt so worthless. I felt as though this was the way that my life was supposed to be. You know, experience sexual assault, experiencing abuse from men in my household, and all of that stuff. At the age of 18, I was in a full blown relationship, and it was very. It almost became deadly, to the point where I was so angry, I was so mad, I was so frustrated, and I would try to do things to harm myself and to harm him as well, because I just knew that I wanted to make it out. There was a time I was so um traumatized by all of the things that happened in my past, to where I tried to actually set him on fire. It was just that
Wow.
bad. But only by the grace of God that I'm still here, and I'm still before you guys, able to share that story today. But abuse started for me very early, and I just thought that that was the way that it was supposed to go. Because also, the women in previous generations, they encountered abuse as well. And so, with no one speaking out about abuse, I thought that that was the way it was supposed to be. I shared with you Friday that my grandmother actually was in a domestic violence relationship, and the guy that she was with, actually shot at her and almost left her for dead. But only by the grace of God, she made it out of it. So just growing up in poverty and just watching these, my grandmother and my great grandmother and my mom going through these vicious cycles, I found myself on the hamster wheel as well.
Oh boy. Wow. Wow. That's a lot to endure. That is a lot to endure. So what happened right after that? What happened right after? So how did you come out of that situation? What were the tools? What were some of the strategies or resources that you came upon?
Um, what made me leave that situation was whew. So I had, like I told you, I had encountered a lot of abuse, sexual abuse,
Mm.
just everything. But that relationship that I was in, what made me leave was he was an alcoholic, very verbally abusive towards me. I endured a lot. And my daughter was, we had a daughter together. And he would take my daughter and have her to call me out of my name, calling me all of these different names
Oh my
and
gosh.
stuff, and really making me feel less as a woman. And I used to tell myself, I don't deserve this. We're physically putting our hands on one another, and he's a man, so he's stronger than me, but I have to protect myself. And he's verbally abusing me, assaulting me, just everything, and sexually assaulting me as well while we worked together. And I was just like, I can't do
Wow.
this anymore. And so one night I decided to stay out with some friends, and I didn't get home until about 5 a.m. the next morning. And when I made it through the door, he had already been drinking. And I could tell by the look in his eyes that I'm in trouble. And so I went to the bedroom and I grabbed my daughter. And at that time, he got angry and he blacked both my eyes with my
Oh.
daughter in my hands. And so that was the cue for me to go. And I left.
Oh yeah, that would be me too. You just reach your breaking point. You know, you just reach a breaking point. So yeah, and I'm so sorry that that happened to you, but I know that you are a very very strong woman, very
Yes.
very strong woman of God, and share with us what are you doing now. I mean, I know that you wrote a book called The Big Storm.
Yes.
So, what what made you write that book? What was
So I actually have it right here so you guys can see. So it's titled Born in a Storm. And it's
Born in
my
Storm?
testimony of how I overcame traumatic experiences such as rape and abuse, domestic violence, and how God really brought me out. Because what a lot of people don't talk about is the pain that they endure from it. And so I was wondering why, like at the age of 18, I was the alcoholic, and at the age of 22, you could just say I was an addict because I was addicted to painkillers. I was addicted to opioids. And so,
Mm.
trying to numb that pain for 10 years, I found myself just drowning in a bottle of pills, trying to find myself and my self worth because of all of the abuse and the traumatic experiences that I had endured. And so, I just wrote the book because I wanted to have a voice for other women, and God brought me out. A lot of women don't make it out. A lot of women are muzzled in their silence. Even for me, the book gave me a voice because I just
Mm.
started speaking out about the sexual abuse, and all of that. The guy who actually sexually assaulted me at the age of 15 was a 38-year-old police officer that lived in my neighborhood,
Oh
and
my
I did
goodness.
not know that. So like when I wrote in my book, as years go by, you forget about some things. But one thing about God, when He's ready to heal you and clean you up, He's gonna bring all of that stuff up. And so I'm writing my book thinking that I'm gonna write a sweet devotional or something like that. And He's like, no, you're gonna talk about the real storm. You're going to talk about
Oh.
the domestic violence. You're going to talk about the rape. You're going to talk about the molestation. You're going to talk about the things that people don't want to talk about, those deep, dark secrets. Because in my generation, like I told you before, nobody wanted to talk about that stuff. And so by the women not facing it head on, it left me in a place where I had to fight by myself. And I said, you know what? I have a 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old daughter. They're not going to fight these same things that I had to fight. I'm going to break this generational cycle, and the buck stops here with me. They're not going to go through abuse. They're not going to go through suicidal thoughts. They're not even going to know what depression is. You know what I'm saying? Because as women, we can get to that point where we just so low and depressed to where we don't even, nothing matters to us, But I
Mm.
said, no, I'm going to be a voice to the voiceless. There are women that have not made it out. And since we made it out, it's our job to speak on their behalf. We have to break the silence. I'm preaching good.
Exactly, which is why you're on my podcast today, because we're here to break the silence. And we are both on the same mission. Now, for you, it's the book. Now, for me, it's the podcast to give women their voice, so they're no longer suffering. They,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember we had talked about this last week, unveiling the mask,
Yes,
taking off the mask.
yes, yes.
Why do you think that girls and young women stay in those toxic relationships? Why do you think they're suffering? I mean,
For me, it was um the rejection and the abandonment that I endured growing up. I grew up in a one parent household. And my mom worked hard. She was a strong black woman, so she had to work hard. My great grandmother and my grandmother did, and so they taught me what they knew, but my father wasn't there as well. And so all of the men that were in my life that were around me, they were like pervs. You know what I'm saying? And they
I
really
know.
just didn't do they didn't do what they were supposed to do to protect us as women and show us and guide us to teach us, say, hey, you deserve better. You don't deserve this. And so by no one showing me, by me not getting that affirmation and that love that I needed from my father, I went looking for in other places, situation, and men. And that's what a lot of young girls and women do. They're looking for that fatherly figure. They're looking for that love and affirmation from the Father. So they stay in these dead end relationships with these men that ain't men. You know what I'm saying? But the true love and affirmation that you get is from God and God only. Because if you're waiting on another human to affirm you, that same person has the same ability to strip you of that affirmation and that power anyway. I can't wait on another human being to come and tell me I'm worthy. I have to know that I'm worthy the moment I step on the scene. You know what I'm saying? And our worthiness comes from our Father in heaven. My God. My God.
Oh boy, preach it, sister, preach it. No, you're 100% right. And you're the only one who can save yourself.
Yes.
No one else can do that for you.
Yes.
So, for these young women, I see a lot of like young women looking to pursue other relationships, but they have to heal first. The healing you have to completely heal first before.
Yes.
Exactly. So what you talked about, makes perfect sense. I mean, they have to heal first and know that they're worthy, and removing those blocks,
Yes.
and letting go of the past. And it's a process.
It is. It is. And one thing I'm going to say about that, because that is where I was. I was so, like I told you, I was running away from my past because of my past. It was jacked up. I had rape and molestation and just all of these different things, domestic violence in my past. So I was running away from it instead of dealing with that baggage. And so when I met my husband, I got a man and he healed, he's whole, he know who he is in his identity. He treats me well, he does all of these things. And I seem like I'm good on the outside, but guess what? In the inside, I'm jacked up. I'm jacked up because I haven't healed. I haven't dealt with all of this stuff. And so guess what? I decided that I said, you know what? I'm going to get in a relationship with this man and I'm going to bring all my baggage along with me. And I swept it under the rug and swept it under the rug until the rug broke. The rug broke. And I had to look and I said, wow, I didn't know all of this stuff was under here. I didn't know. I didn't know. And so I had to really just take the time and go piece by piece to heal, to allow God to pull back those layers. Some things I didn't want to look at, some things I didn't want to deal with, but I thank God for the strong man that I have, because most people, they would have left me. They would have left me when they come in. You said, wait a minute, you got all of this stuff. We married and you got all of this stuff you need to deal with. So it's very important for you to take time out to get to know yourself. It's very important for you to take time out and heal. Allow God to go into those dark places, because one thing about domestic violence, one thing about sexual abuse is that as long as you don't, it's always going to show up. It's going to show up. You're going to get triggered. Something is going to happen until you deal with that stuff. And God wants to deal those deep hidden secrets, pretty much, because that's what it is. A lot of people keep a secret, but it's time for you to open up your mouth now and break the silence so God can heal you. Okay?
Amen to that, sister. Amen to that. Absolutely. It's time to break the silence. And for those of you who are tuning in today, I just want to give a shout out to a couple people. Hi, George. Always great to see you. If this live broadcast is resonating with you, please share the live out to a friend. Please share this live out to someone who needs to hear this message, because the message is loud and clear. We need to break the silence. Because I know speaking for myself, I'm an 11-year domestic violence survivor and I'm thriving. Okay. I have a podcast. I found my true calling, last year during the pandemic, because the pandemic was like an awakening. COVID-19, there was a spiritual awakening. And I said to myself, I want to give women that platform to amplify their voice, to help them find their voice and help them regain their power, and to help them attract wealth and abundance instead of scarcity. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because I know that, for me, I was in my marriage way too long. it's a life, but that's it. I moved on, and I moved on, and now I'm helping other women. So for yourself, what are your thoughts on that? Because that's, I think, something that we should talk about.
It's
Definitely we should talk
beautiful. And congratulations to you, because that is beautiful for you to finally say, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna think about Angeline. So congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
I wish you nothing but the success. But it's beautiful when other women, they leave those dark places and they go and be the light for someone else. Because a lot
Mhm.
of people don't go back and get others. I have seen so many young girls in those spaces, and my heart breaks because I'm looking at them, and they, and I went up to women that have just been getting beat by men in the streets, and I'm putting myself in the place like, look, you ain't gonna put your hands on her. you know um
Right, right.
but I'm like, wow. And the women may think that I'm judging them or whatever, but I'm not. I'm like, no, girl, I see me in you. I want to protect you. You know, I'm all about protecting women, because we need that. We need to know, like, hey, girl, you ain't in it by yourself. I know a lot of women, they look at me now, it's like, oh, she got a husband. They don't do all that. They're not with all that crazy stuff, but they don't know the struggle that I went through. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why
Right.
it's very important for you to share your story and go back and get other women and let them know that they can make it out of it too. Because you to say you've been out of it for 11 years, that's beautiful. And you're giving
Oh yeah,
someone hope and inspiration, and just letting them know that their voices are gonna be heard.
exactly, exactly. And I had, and I, just like you, I had to break through those self-limiting beliefs, and I had to, for me, after leaving, it was like I felt like 100,000 pounds was taken off my shoulders.
Mhm.
I moved into a small one-bedroom apartment at the time on the other side of town 11 years ago in Saratoga, where I live now, and I just felt grateful. I just felt really, really grateful because a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders, and
Mhm.
for you too. So, you know, um, I'm just so inspired by your story, and you brought out something that now struck a chord with me. Now, women need to be vulnerable in sharing their story, and a lot of women are afraid. I actually had a woman friend of mine, she contacted me yesterday, and she said, what about one or two coaching sessions? I said, that's not enough. I was in therapy for 1 year, okay? And I took personal development courses. So, as far as yourself, you do offer mentorship, don't you, for
Yes, I
young
offer.
women?
They can definitely go to my website. I'm going to be putting my coaching program up for women, but I do have it for young girls right now. But I do, because I am actually a certified inner healing and deliverance minister. Because one thing
Right,
about women, when we go through those things, we have to get that inner healing. And like you said, 1 and 2 coaching session doesn't drive out what needs to be drived out. You have to really rebuild. You have to
mm,
rebuild yourself, because that domestic violence, it comes for your self-worth. Insecurities come in. Like, I was around here, still kind of hearing the voices telling me that I wasn't good and worthy, and no one would love me and my kids, and I don't deserve this and that. And so you really have to attack the limited belief system. And you have to get that inner healing that you need, because you may have suppressed it for so long. But most definitely, I do offer that for women, because it's all about building the woman back up and making her whole again.
exactly, exactly. And is it WynikaWilliams.com?
Yes, they can go to WynikaWilliams.com. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching the live broadcast or will be catching the replay, please go to WinnickaWilliams.com, and do you offer, like for myself, I offer a VIP coaching session. Do you offer, like a discovery call? That's what I was trying to get
Yeah,
at.
they can definitely go. They can go and they can get a discovery call. It'll actually be under my quad because I have my lady revamping my website right now. So if they
Okay.
go to my website and they go to my organization, Quad Foundation, that organization is actually for my youth, but they can schedule their discovery call under that session as well.
Okay, good. Please share with the audience what is the Quid Foundation. So please, I put that right there, Quid Foundation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So how did you find that name? Well, how did you?
So in my darkest, one of my darkest places, I was going through depression. I was going through a lot of just mental battle where I just wanted to just give up. And God showed me in a vision me mentoring these young girls. And so when I seen it, I thought that it were my daughters because, like I said, I have an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old. But it was just showing me different little girls from all across the world that I was going to mentor. And so the name is actually Quad Foundation, and what it stands for is Queens Uplifting and Inspiring Daughters. And so that is my organization where I uplift them, I inspire them so they don't have to go through the same experiences. And I am that listening ear to them. We talk about a lot of things such as bullying. We talk about one thing about me, I have it broken down into age groups. So there's 8 to 18, but I have it from 8 to 12 and then 13 to 18. And then I do break it up and do one-on-one sessions with them as well. But I talk about the raw with them. If they can handle it, I talk about it with them because I was pregnant at 15. And so I don't want them to experience that. I was lured into it's actually sex trafficking at 15 by the police officer that lived in my neighborhood. I don't want them to go through that. I was cutting myself at 12 years old. I don't want them to go through that. So with that being said, that's why I'm so passionate about Quiet Foundation. It's all about saving our girls. It's all about saving them.
And I love the mission. I love your mission.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really important. And I see, I see great things from you. I see wonderful things happening. And so, in closing, what is a special message that you would like to share with the audience today?
I would just say God hasn't forgotten about you. In the middle of your storms, in the middle of your trials, God has not forgotten about you. And Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans and the thoughts that I have for you, towards you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And it doesn't matter what your circumstance may look like, God has a hope and a future waiting on you. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to get weary, but just trust and believe God because He knows the plans that He has for you, and they are plans of good and not of evil, and that you will make it out of this. There are women all across the world waiting to support you and to uplift you, and that you're going to make it out of this. And I think that's that.
That's it. Great message. That is a beautiful message. So, on social media, where can people reach you?
Yes. So I'm on Facebook at Wynicka Williams, Wynika Williams, Willilliams. I am on TikTok as Queen Williams. I am on Clubhouse as Queen Wynicka Williams. And I am on Instagram as Queen Wynicka Williams. So I'm on all social media except for Twitter and LinkedIn right now.
All right, good. That's a lot. That's a full plate.
It is.
It is. Okay. So everyone, please go, if you want to connect with Queen Wynicka Williams, you can go to Facebook, TikTok, and TikTok. What is your TikTok handle again? It's
Queen Williams.
Queen Williams. Okay. And Instagram. And Clubhouse.
Yes.
And Clubhouse. Okay. So, you know what I'm going to do? I think this was a great broadcast. I really enjoyed, having this conversation with you. So for those of you who are watching the replay, please hashtag replay in the comments section. And please like and subscribe to my Let's Break the Silence podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, Apple. This episode will be uploaded soon, and it will be live. And I'm also proud to say that our following has grown by 150%. And I launched my first episode on January 8th, 3 days after my birthday. And I can tell you, it's been quite a journey. And we are in 6 countries, including the Philippines. So this is a global issue. No, I know. So that's why I'm just asking everyone to please go like and subscribe. And if you would like to give a rating, please give me a rating, and that will definitely boost our visibility on the live streams and get our message out there, because we're out to break the silence. We are out to break the silence and give women their voice, help them find their voice, help them amplify their voice, help them regain their power, and attract abundance in their lives. And for those of you who would like to connect with Wynicka and book a call with her, please go to the Quid Foundation. And to check out our website, please go to wynickawilliams.com. So with that being said, I am going to end the broadcast. I want to thank you so much, Wynicka, my queen. I have so many queens in my life. I'm truly, truly blessed. And I want to thank you for being on today's broadcast. And we are going to end this broadcast right now. So please look for it will be podcast episode number 32.
Awesome. So, it has definitely been a privilege and an honor to be with you on today. So thank you so much once again, Angeline. And let's break the silence.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the broadcast, and then we'll have a conversation after this is over. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy this beautiful day. And if this live resonates with you, please share this out. Thank you. Bye.